Thanks. That was fun. Hi. I love symmetry. Ever since I was a child, I had this obsession with ambidexterity. Everything I did with my right hand, I had to do with my left hand. I drove my mother crazy. I grew up in a tiny house. I was the youngest of 3 sisters, single mom, grandma upstairs, 2 cats, a dog. It was chaos. And I found this way to find some balance and harmony in the chaos through left and right. And I used to do these finger gyms. I was really into it. It just made me happy. It was something I did. So later on, when I went to high school, I was fortunate to go to a great public school that offered a free dance program. And I took that feeling that I had when I was doing my finger gyms, and I was able to incorporate it into my whole body. And I could take that sensation of balance and happiness and move through space and synchronize with music and work with other dancers. It was awesome, and it totally beat finger gym. While I was in high school, I also developed a passion for visual arts. And when I was going to graduate, I was told by the adults in my life at the time that I needed to choose. Be an artist, be a dancer. What do you want to be? Why did I have to choose? I didn't like it. I didn't like the thought of it. But I got into a really good art school in New York City. Couldn't pass up that opportunity. So I'm glad I did, because that was the year I had my aha moment. And I'll never forget it. I remember as if it were yesterday. I was sitting in my dorm room by myself. It was the wee hours of the night. I picked up 2 pens, and boom, something happened. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I felt as though when I was drawing this way, I could somehow transcend the limitations of my everyday awareness and somehow connect to a higher intelligence, a higher consciousness, other worlds. I didn't really know, but it felt really good. I liked it, and I had a good time doing it. But so I filled a little journal, and I just kind of kept it to myself. I didn't really share it with anyone. And after that first year, I decided I was going to do something else with my life. Not going to be a dancer, not going to be an artist. I wanted to save the world. Because when you're in your 20s, you feel like you can. So I decided to do that through education. And it took a few years, but me and a group of parents and educators got together, and we started a little community-based school in Westchester. And it was arts integrated and innovative. We had a great time, and it was during that time that I kind of pulled out my symmetry drawing, and I thought, what would happen if I experimented on my students? So I did. And it was interesting, because I found that it calmed them down, and it got them ready for learning. It did something for their brains. My pre-literate students opened up. They weren't afraid of drawing or writing. It opened them up. Cool. I had a teaching tool. But, I was a mom. I was busy running a school. I was busy saving the world. So I kind of left it there. I didn't take it any further. In 2012, our little school suffered the same fate as many small schools in the country. And we had lots of enthusiasm, not a lot of money. We had to shut the doors. My mission to save the world was an epic failure. I didn't know what to do. I had spent almost 15 years of my life, most of my adult life, doing this, on this mission. I didn't know what to do. I was depressed, I was sad, we moved, everything was in chaos. So what do I do when my life is in chaos? I picked up my 2 pens, and I started to draw. And this time, I made a decision. I said to myself, what if I took this little passion of mine and treated it like a job? What if I put in my 10,000 hours? What would happen? There was no school I could go to that taught symmetry drawing. I had to rely on myself. And I realized if I didn't do this, it just wasn't going to happen. So I started to draw every day, as often as I could. And I discovered a few things about the brain. And many of us are aware of the two hemispheres of the brain. So review really quick. Left side loves logic, order, sequence, measures time, sees time as linear, everything is concrete, sees us all as separate individuals. Right side, expansive, spontaneous, timeless. We are all connected, interconnected human beings, right? That's the right side of the brain. Now, while I was doing this symmetry drawing, I realized I was engaging both hemispheres. My left side was so happy keeping symmetry in my body. And my right side was, whoa, what was unfolding before my eyes? I never knew what was going to come out of the drawing when I started. So there was this sense of these two different worlds now collaborating. And I started to use it as a healing tool for myself. I went through a really serious battle with chronic Lyme disease, and I thought, okay, I was trying to navigate the chaotic world of treatment for this very difficult to diagnose disease, and what do I do when I'm in chaos? I picked up my 2 pens. Let's try this. And again, I was able to transcend the limits of my ordinary awareness, and I connected. I connected to my pain. I connected to untapped energy where I was healing myself. I had a healing tool. This was pretty cool. I was excited. And then I had a second chance at an epic failure. I got divorced. My life was once again in chaos. I had to move. I had a tiny house with my daughter, and I didn't have a lot of space. But I had made a decision. I decided I was not letting this go. I was going to figure out how I was going to continue to keep up with my daily practice. So I took a little wall in my house, painted it with chalkboard paint, and I was at it every day. Big, full-size drawings. And I did probably hundreds of these. I call them ambi-ephemerals because they've all been erased by now. And it was really cool because I started to experiment with music and sounds and movement. And I realized I was drawing and I was dancing. And I thought, who said I couldn't draw and dance? So I continued to do this, and I had, one of the things I really love about art is how it can bring happiness and joy to people who are viewing it, for me. So I was able to take what I was doing and create a mural in my community. And it's a wall that had some contention. There's a bit of issues with development. I live across the river. And this big wall went up, and I said, okay, we need some happiness here. So I asked, and I got it done. It was awesome. We got some other artists involved. And I was really happy to have something that would generate joy in my community. So I was getting somewhere. And I started to develop this symmetry work as a design tool. And another decision that I made was that I was going to take every opportunity I could to draw with people. So anyone who invited me to come and draw, I was there. Any event. And because I wanted to see is what I do transferable to other people? Would they have the same experience? And after working with hundreds of people, I found out that, yeah. So I started what I call collaborative symmetry. Because why not? What would happen if you took two brains in that beautiful, peaceful, balanced state and had them do a drawing together? What would it be like? What would they learn together? What would it be like if we took four brains and put them to work together? What would happen? What would happen if we added music? Seriously, the options are endless. I'm going to finish my talk part here and just say, for me, the second chances had a lot to do with failure. And coming out of that failure was a decision. No one gave me a second chance. I gave myself a second chance. And I did that by making a decision. And I was not going to back down from it. And I situated my life in such a way that I could keep going and doing what I love. And I'm so happy to be able to share this with you tonight. I'm going to do another drawing. And our friends are going to come out and flip the board for me. Thank you so much. So I wanted to kind of bring you inside a little bit of my process. This is welcome to my living room. This is kind of what it's like. I have a little more width space. And I like to draw to music because it's inspiring and it's fun, and I like to do it as an exercise. And often I would take a song, and sometimes it would be like just a section of a song because it has a rhythm I like or some words that I like. And so I would take my movement and I would take the music and I would add my own meaning to it so that the drawing would represent not only this collaboration between me and the music and the chalk and the board, but also my intention. So with this drawing, my intention is to get you guys up dancing. So I invite you to dance, and I'm just going to rock it out. I don't know what I'm going to draw. I haven't planned it. It is spontaneous symmetry. So I want to thank you again. Hope you can get up and get your boogie on, yeah? All right. Get ready.